Dezu video, this video by Rev, and gonna be interesting. It's called Assassin's Creed Shadows blasted for woke romance options as outrage in Japan reaches a boiling point. So there was a few people tweeting out some clips of a gay romance that showed up, and I was like, yeah, Assassin's Creed Shadows is fucking cooked. So let's watch this.
So guys, we're here. So we're only one day away from the official global release of Assassin's Creed Shadows, and right now Ubisoft's got to be sweating because they need this game to succeed, and just when you think things just can't get any worse for them, it has. The last 2 days have been an absolute disaster.
Yeah, and the floodgates have not opened with the content with Assassin's Creed Shadows, with people playing. Now we're getting all the glitches, I was going to say glips, all the clips of glitches and all the gay stuff coming out.
For Ubisoft and this game, who by their own admission needs to succeed. We see Ubisoft devs here confirming this is a high-stakes game they're playing with Assassin's Creed Shadows, where if the game performs moderately, they're in big trouble. And that's not too surprising. And also all this flies in the face of people who try to defend the second delay of this game, claiming they were trying to basically wait this out and let some of the controversy blow over. If that's the truth, that was a massive...
Yeah, that's a big time L. They're definitely in trouble if this doesn't succeed. Now, Flint's Nest says if you give a bad review, you hear they're going to sue people for that. That is not. You're getting the story twisted. They said if you target and attack people that work for the company, you'll be getting lawsuits. It's not that you can't give them a bad review. It's that if you're attacking the people that work for Ubisoft. So make sure you get that story situated, because that's not it. But this is interesting right here, saying that this is high stakes. Because, yeah, I think if this game flops, even if it sells a lot of money and makes money, it's still not going to save them. I think the fact that they're saying if the game performs moderately, they're really in trouble. That's a sign that they need to sell this company ASAP. They need to just give it to somebody.
Massive miscalculation, because over the past month, there's only been more controversy, including more controversy over the past 2 days that we're going to cover in this video. It's looking really grim for them. We're going to talk about their attempts to basically weaponize their legal team to try to silence critics. They're also going around...
Yeah, silence critics, attacking people
around and punishing some content creators for trying to stream this game with their approval, by the way. We also see some more official responses regarding the shrine controversy.
Yes, apparently there's going to be a day one patch where you can't destroy the shrines anymore. That it caused enough trouble in Japan to where they're having to patch being able to destroy stuff in the shrines, which, yeah, Japan got pretty pissed off of that.
And most damning of all, we're going to be looking at the gameplay and cutscenes that people are now sharing over the past 24 hours. And my God, they're as bad as you could possibly imagine, not just with buggy issues and things like that, but also some very woke stuff that you really...
Oh, absolute woke stuff, man. You gotta love it. You gotta love the wokes. And I love it when these little wokies cry when you call stuff woke. That word is cringe. People just say woke. Everything I hate is woke. No, it's woke. It's fucking woke. All right?
They won't believe until you see it. So, let's begin somewhat in a chronological order, because there's been a lot that's happened over the past 2 days or so. I want to get you guys to understand the build-up that we're seeing before this release. So, a couple days ago, the embargo for reviews was released, meaning the people had orders ahead of time. They can now release their official reviews of this game, and you can see the Metascore of this is an 82, which is kind of just what people expected. It's kind of middle.
Yeah, middle, average, based off of 60 critic reviews, and you can see at the time of this recording, there was no user scores available yet. I am almost all but guaranteeing, and I could be wrong, that user score is going to be bad. And that's usually how it works out, even on IMDb and Rotten Tomatoes and stuff. Usually the critic scores suck off the stuff a little bit. And then when you get the actual users, the actual consumers, the actual gamers, the actual people that watch movies, it's complete opposite.
The road, nothing great, nothing terrible. But you're going to see, if you look through the reviews, it's a giant hive mind. We saw this with Dragon Age the Veilguard as well. You can see all of these reviews from IGN, GameSpot, PC Gamer, and so on and so forth, all using the same language over and over again.
That return to form. This game is a return to form. This game is a return to form. That's all you see. It's almost like, look at that. Look at all those red underlines on all those articles. Those are them literally saying, oh, it's a return to form. That's paid fucking shill shit right there, guys.
And a return to form, return to form, return to form, a return to greatness, return to form, so on and so forth. And that's not too surprising because at this point, all these games journalists, they're just regurgitating the same stuff the guy before them said.
Just fucking shilling.
Right, if IGN's the first one that comes out with an article review, they basically just copy and paste that message in their own article review. And it goes on and on like a human centipede of games journalism, and you can see the absolute mess.
A human centipede.
Creates. But on top of that, look at some of the reviews, right? And are you supposed to trust these? So you have VG247, who gave this a 100.
By the way, VG247 used to use them for sources, but they've gone down the dark path.
100, a perfect score. But then they start off the review, the first sentence, and they say, there are problems with Assassin's Creed Shadows, but still gave it a perfect score. I mean, are these people...
How do you say there's problems and then you give it a perfect score?
People serious? And then it gets even worse, as pointed out here. You look at their review for Ghost of Tsushima, a 60. They gave that a 60, but Assassin's Creed Shadows, a 100, a perfect score.
See, that's bullshit. All right? How are you going to not call that out, guys? Ghost of Tsushima, a masterpiece. VG247 gave it a 60. And then they give Assassin's Creed Shadows a perfect 100 after they said there's problems with the game. Are you telling me that there's not a quid pro quo thing going on where they were paid or there's some kind of like bonus to them basically shilling for this game? Do these people not think that we're stupid, that we see that they're all in each other's pockets? And if we call it out, we're rage bait grifters. That's the issue here.
Yeah, that's why I don't trust any of these reviews.
Don't trust critics
at all.
Do not trust critics. They're all scum.
On top of that, around the same time the embargo was lifted, we had a situation with this VTuber named Olivia Monroe who got permission. They got a sponsored stream opportunity for Assassin's Creed Shadows. They had direct...
VG7, 24/7 has always been trashed. They just gone full mask off. It says pickle lips. I mean, 100%.
Permission from Ubisoft to stream early access of this game on Twitch. Well, how did that go?
Wow.
Well, unfortunately, a few minutes into that sponsored stream, she was banned.
So she got permission to do a sponsored stream and then they got banned?
Ubisoft pulled the plug on this stream.
Wow.
Now, you're probably wondering, how did this happen? She had permission for this. Well, let's see what they had to say on Discord. There's a couple screenshots going around. She said, I got my stream time approved. I was emailed 5 minutes ago saying that I was in breach of the embargo, even though it was approved, and then boom.
And you know what? I've had other companies try to do the same exact thing to me, like THQ Nordic, stuff like that. If they get hurt about stuff that you say, they will just say that you broke embargo and stuff.
They got hit with a ban. On top of that, they explained further saying Ubisoft approved my time because they read it as 7 p.m., not 7 a.m. So
they were the ones in the wrong, and then they punished somebody by banning them on Twitch. Okay. Great company, Ubisoft. What's up, Daryl? How you doing?
They streamed, I believe, at 7 a.m., and Ubisoft thought they meant 7 p.m., so when they saw them go live early, according to their understanding, they decided to pull the plug on the stream and ban this individual, which is an absolute 100% indictment on Ubisoft. They messed up here. They were the ones who clearly messed up, and now this promoted, sponsored stream was a complete disaster. Luckily, about 5 hours later, the ban was removed.
At least they got unbanned, right? Cheers. Thank you, Ubisoft, for doing the right fucking thing at once. Thank you.
Because, duh. But still, I'm pretty sure it's on the record for Twitch. So this whole situation is just an absolute mess. Another bad look for Ubisoft, who looked like they weren't doing their homework on this situation.
They definitely weren't doing their homework. That's the spoiler alert, right?
But another thing people are talking a lot about is this right here. So this is a report saying Ubisoft has reportedly enlisted a team of lawyers to sue
Yeah, so we lightly touched on this. This is ridiculous.
players who harass Assassin's Creed Shadows developers. And of course,
So harass the developers, guys.
what do they mean by harassment? A lot of people are interpreting that as criticism. Criticism might be on the chopping block for Ubisoft, but I think the answer to this is really simple. I don't think there's any reason to go after the devs.
Yeah, don't message the devs, guys. If you see that somebody works at Ubisoft, don't be autistic. Don't message them. Don't even do that. You're setting yourself up for a frivolous lawsuit anyway. What's up, Cold Classic Cage? How you doing, sweetheart?
Even on a critical level, a lot of people have remained focused on the game itself. There's a lot of people at Ubisoft working on this. It's not a situation where we have, like the usual suspects in other studios where you have one individual developer going on social media and saying wild stuff and then causing issue for the company. Really, people are just looking at Ubisoft and this game itself and saying there's a lot of inaccuracies, there's a lot of issues and controversies, and that's what people have been focusing on. So I don't...
Yeah, it's mostly, for the most part, at least from the people that I watch and follow on social media and YouTube, everybody's been pretty fair about their criticism about it. I don't see anybody getting attacked. But yeah, don't spurg and personally contact anybody that works at Ubisoft. Especially if they're threatening legalities like this. Just don't. I don't want you guys to have to deal with that.
I don't think this is something that people should be too afraid of, but it's a bad look for Ubisoft.
It definitely is a bad look.
I would just recommend leaving any of this alone, because in terms of the developers going after them in any sort of a harassment level, because they're itching to make a lawsuit right now. Clearly, they're trying very hard to set this up so they can catch someone.
What's up, Paul?
But just focus on the gameplay right now and focus on Ubisoft as a company, and I think everyone in this situation will be fine. But let's not just underplay the fact that they literally are hiring the bully hunters, okay? Not literally, but figuratively.
This was hilarious. I saw this tweet out earlier. Ubisoft hired bully hunters, laughing my ass off.
Figuratively speaking here, they're hiring the bully hunters, and if you know about this whole situation
was funny.
Many years back, you understand why that's so funny. But Assassin's Creed Shadows on Twitter, they're getting ready, right? Despite all of this recent controversy, they're gearing up. They're ready for the release tomorrow. What else could happen? Oh.
Yeah, what else could happen?
Probably the most damning thing. Gameplay gets shared. Gameplay and cutscenes are being shared all over Twitter over the past 24 hours. And each one of them is just painful. Painful for many reasons. Some of them, the quality is just atrocious and looks like a lot of corner cutting by Ubisoft. But the cringe is unimaginable. Some of these scenes...
Check if he shows that romance scene, watch.
Are so woke, it's actually insane. I never really thought it would be this much in terms of wokeness and virtue signaling in the game itself and in the cutscenes and things like that. But it's off the wall. You're not going to believe some of the stuff you're watching. So let's begin with this clip that's getting a lot of attention. This is the quality of some of the voice acting.
So this is one that I tweeted out. I saw this exact same thing, actually, from Learning the Law. You're going to see the voice acting and how terrible it is right here.
Listen to how this NPC speaks.
Resentment can grow quietly without much warning after a storm.
So their clip is actually kind of low, but it literally sounds like somebody has their mouth wired, like, resist. It sounds bad.
Mushrooms can too.
Yeah, this is the shiitake mushrooms thing that Addis is just messaging. Shiitake?
The smell of dirt, grass, and rain.
The funny thing, too, is I don't even think really the Naoe voice sounds that great, but that NPC, like, are you kidding me? There's people accusing this of being AI because it's that bad. And honestly, I think you could...
Shiva said it sounds like Dickers on his sixth seltzer.
You could pull a random person off the street, and they would probably do a better job than that NPC. Like, that voice was absolutely painful. I mean, just
that was
listen
terrible.
to this.
After a storm. Mushrooms can too.
Are we being serious? This is a company that's probably sunk hundreds of millions of dollars into this game, and that's what some of the NPCs sound like.
Hundreds of millions
Totally
of dollars.
inexcusable, but this image, it's burned into my brain already. I've only been introduced.
Bro, this is the new hot meme. This is literally like the new hot meme. Like, how did they make this, sign off on it, and it's literally like the new hot meme, guys. This is gonna be everywhere. This is gonna be everywhere.
To it today, but it's already burned in my brain for many years to come. This is what Yasuke's up to in this game.
Look at
this.
this.
Is the face Ubisoft is making when you're still buying this slop despite everything that's happening. Okay, as it turns out, Yasuke is quite the player in feudal Japan, and in this game, he is he's doing a lot of romance.
That's such like a shit-eating fucking grin right there, is it not?
With everyone, he doesn't discriminate.
Oh,
men,
he don't.
women, non-binaries, like he is doing it all. Yes, I am not joking. Let's begin with this one right here. One of the possible gay romance arcs you can have with Yasuke.
That shop merchant voice acting did sound like somebody with the syndrome. Look at this, though. This is a scene. One of the male romances. Look at this cringe.
Okay, in this game, you can see his loving eyes right here. This shot is just amazing.
Look at this. The little zoom in of the eyes. Forehead touching.
You are more than worthy. And this moment we have shared will be my treasure.
Cringe.
Look at the love in his eyes right here. Yasuke is just such a soft, tender lover in this game. But
Dude,
that's not all, right? Okay,
this
you
is
heard me
bad.
mention non-binary. So about a month or two ago, there was a art book leaked on social media. And
Oh, yeah,
myself
check this
and many
shit
others covered this because, as pointed out by Madam Savvy here, we had this character named Ibuki, right? And in this description, they described this character.
What's up, Lord Bacon the Destroyer? Appreciate you being here. Hey, shoutouts to fucking Falcro. He's here. Shoutouts, man. It's been a minute. Where the fuck have you been?
With they pronouns. And myself and anyone else pointing this out, we were getting flack from a bunch of woke weirdos and activists basically saying we're making this up. Right? Even on this tweet right here, to this day, there's still a proposed community note saying the they in the sentence refers to the Ronins and their habits, not Ibuku. They even spell the name wrong in the official attempted note here. But yeah, as it always turns out, these people who were trying to tell us we're all wrong, well, they were the ones who are wrong, because this Ibuki character is in the game, and they are non-binary, and beyond that, they're also one of Yasuke's potential lovers. That's right. This scene's also been going viral all over Twitter. As you can see, the caption, "A black samurai in a relationship with a non-binary person." Get ready. The tension's going to be very, very high right here.
Look at this.
I have ever seen you quite so
And listen to Yasuke's fucking voice acting, too.
tongue-tied.
Not yet, at least. I hope you aren't easily chilled.
Wow.
Do you think someone might see us?
Maybe.
Oh my god. That's like a terrible fucking porno.
Man, they have Yasuke bringing a non-binary out into the woods to mess around. Isn't there something kind of like offensive about that? Like hiding out in the woods? I don't know, man.
Do you care?
Listen to the music. Wow.
This is the shot that's going all over
Look, that's where the
Twitter
face
right
is
now.
at.
This face.
So he literally turns and looks at the fucking camera with that shit-eating grin. That is cringe. Jesus.
The way the non-binary samurai over here is looking at him. He looks like he's high. Like, this whole thing is just... It's incredible. Incredible work, Ubisoft.
That's terrible. Oh my god, this is rough to look at.
Amazing. Yep.
They were more
Maybe
focused
guys,
on
if you need
doing
to,
that
pause
shit.
for a bit and cool down.
They're more focused on doing bullshit like that than making a good game. And yeah, I slept with everybody in Valhalla too, but still.
After that very enthralling scene, I understand. But as you can see, Yasuke has an interest in men and non-binary characters as well. And of course, he's a womanizer as well. Apparently sleeping with Oda Nobunaga's sister. Now, I'm not an expert in Japanese history, but I have a sinking suspicion that didn't happen. But here it
Bussies
is.
can get violated.
So he doesn't discriminate. Like I said, he goes after women.
So look at this. He sleeps with Oda Nobunaga's sister.
Men, they, thems. Nothing stops Yasuke, alright? He is an absolute player in this game. But yeah, I didn't expect all of this. Like, of course, there's like romance arcs in Creed games, but like, this is a little, it's a little interesting and a lot more woke than anyone thought. And again, they are saying that Yasuke is a historically accurate depiction. Like, can you imagine if Yasuke rose from the dead and saw his depiction,
dude, he would
in
flip.
this game? How do you
I don't think he would
he'd
like
feel
it.
about this?
I don't think he would like it.
Yeah, exactly. But of course, we got a co-protagonist in this game, Naoe. She has to get on the
here we
action,
go.
right? Well, turns out she also has a gay romance scene
Jeez.
in this game.
Lust? Lust is
They're gonna be
of a
diving in the
thousand
muff.
steps that begins with a kiss.
Damn, that's a passionate kiss.
Amazing.
Bull
Also,
armor.
really good writing. Like, an incredible build-up to that. But yeah, I mean, it's just, love is in the air in Assassin's Creed Shadows.
Dude.
That's for sure. People
What were
are
they
clowning
thinking
on
with
all of
this?
It's so much. I mean, this is like Veilguard levels. And again,
Yeah.
you know, this is a game in feudal Japan. Of course, there was some of this stuff going on in feudal Japan, but like to this degree and with these specific characters in particular.
Yeah, Yasuke was a real
Yasuke?
person.
I don't know, man. I mean, they literally
He
tried
wasn't
to
a
check
samurai,
every
though.
single box in terms of diversity with these characters, and in particular, Yasuke. Now, of course, another thing people claimed was the outrage over the shrine incident in the game.
Yep,
So if you don't
they had
know,
to change
there's
this.
a clip going around where Yasuke can go into a shrine in the game that's based on real-life counterparts. He can go in there and destroy it and kill people in there and all that stuff. Obviously, it's the player's choice, but some people in Japan were
They got
upset
offended
about
by
this,
it.
especially people
Yep.
who operate those shrines, people who go there for religious purposes. They are offended by this, and it was something that was reported.
You know,
in-
somebody tried to like get smart with me in the comments when I was like, dude, they're disrespecting their religion, and like, yo, well, anime does this, and they have this, and blah blah blah. It's like, no, it's not. It's not the same fucking thing, dude. It's not the same thing.
An article about a month ago, and I reported on that, and many others did as well on YouTube. And we were told that we were basically lying about this, and that no one was upset about this shrine.
Oh, they
and
were
that the article, because it was made
absolutely
from a
upset.
Tabloid. It wasn't trustworthy, and we were all just making this up. Well, a few days ago, we talked about the official response from this member of the prefectural assembly here, and how he was talking with heads and priests from the shrines.
Yeah.
And they're very, very upset, and they were demanding
It went to
a
the government.
response in Japan. And it turns out that's exactly what's happening. Apparently, the Japanese National Diet is addressing this
Yep.
issue specifically. Okay, the highest forms of government here. They're talking about Ubisoft and Assassin's Creed Shadows. And
Things could
obviously,
get bad.
they're not happy. Okay? And this is happening one day before
They
release.
come out.
One day. This is how cooked Ubisoft in this game is.
Absolutely
It's actually
fucking
insane
cooked.
that all of this is happening. And I might expand further on this because there's a lot of details coming out about this, and I just came across it before recording. And right now there's some contention about some of the translation, so I don't want to spread anything that might not be an accurate translation at this point. So I'm going to hold off on this aspect of the developing stories.
Yeah,
here
this is
involving
a
game.
story in
And if
development.
there's
This thing with the government getting involved, that's a developing story that is only just beginning, guys.
there's anything further, we might cover it tomorrow or maybe the next day. We'll see. But for now, I'm just letting you be aware that there is, in fact, discussions at the Japanese National Diet over this game, and how far that goes, we're gonna have to wait and see. But also, one thing to point
That
out
could end
here,
up becoming very
day
big.
before release of a major Assassin's Creed game, Ubisoft stock today has dropped by 6%.
Damn.
Does this look like a
Dude, if their stock is $2.72, I might buy some. Fuck it.
company that's releasing the game that's going to save it? I don't really know. But overall, this is an absolute mess. And tomorrow's the big day. Tomorrow's the big day. We're going to find out if Ubisoft's got the legs. If Assassin's Creed Shadows can convince enough
Now I already know what's going to happen. We're going to get a whole bunch of people like fucking all these little woke motherfuckers on Twitter. If there's decent numbers, oh, these wokies thought it was going to fail. Go woke, go bro. They did the same thing with Avowed. They did the same thing with Veilguard. No, okay. It could sell 5 million copies. It's still not going to save Ubisoft. It's not. It's not going to save Ubisoft.
And people who are not on the internet too much that this is a game worth the money. We'll have to wait and see. It's going to sell copies, as I always say. This game is going to sell millions of copies, but it's just a matter of how many million. Are they going to reach their own expectations for what they set out for this game to achieve? I don't think they're going to.
Nah,
and
no
with
way.
what we're seeing in terms of the quality of the gameplay and what's going on, man, just doesn't look very appealing to a lot of people to get past all this controversy that they're already looking at when they identify this game. But anyways, that's going to do it for this video. As always,
So yeah, those cutscenes were pretty freaking cringe, man. Those cutscenes were bad. Some of the worst cheap B-movie porno cutscenes I've seen in my life.